welcome back to another episode of Cooking for the of It. I am your host, Wesley Foreman, and since I knew you'd be coming, I decided we're going to bake a cake. And not just any cake. I am going to be attempting the Victoria sandwich, which was named in honor of Queen Victoria, and I'm doing this as a tribute to Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and her other realms and territories across the sea. So, let's get started. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is preheat the oven to 375. Now, this is a British recipe, which meant I had to do a lot of conversions from the metric system into the standard American system. Some things I've left metric, other things I've converted over to American standard, and we'll just see how it goes. The next step is to grease two 9-inch cake tins and line with parchment paper. That's our first one. I thought my roommates had one of the both of these pans, but they didn't, so I ended up having to. I got these at Ross. Okay. That might be a little bit bigger than 9 inches, but that's okay. Now I'm going to take 3 eggs. Set that down, I don't need it yet. And we whisk those up nice and fine. Let me set these aside for later. Well, we take about 150 grams. That's one of the things I left as a 150 grams of unsalted butter. It's one of the items I left as a in the metric system. And this is 150 grams or 1/2 cup and 4 tablespoons of Splenda. Actually, it was 150 grams of castor sugar or granulated sugar, but the 1/2 cup and 4 tablespoons is the equivalent of 150 grams of regular sugar. And we take half a teaspoon, I was about to say tablespoon, of vanilla extract. Although in England it's funny, they call it vanilla essence. Different countries, different customs. It's all good. And we cream the Splenda and the eggs together. Excuse me, the Splenda and the butter together with the vanilla. Now we take the eggs. I was getting ahead of myself there, and pour it in slowly as we use. We set the control on full. And we slowly add our egg mix. You don't want to go too fast or it'll curdle. And we don't want a curdled cake. Okay, set that aside. We just do a little bit more folding. Let's go a little bit faster because I want to get this a little bit more finer. I may have gone a little bit too quick with the eggs. This does look a little curdly, at least I think it does. I don't know my curds from my whey. And we scrape down the sides. Okay, now we're going to another reason I wish I had a camera person, slowly add the flour. This is pre-sifted, self-rising flour. Whoops. Okay, that's going to be about as much of the I can get done with my electric blender. There are times though when you just have to do it by hand. That's just... Our oven is still preheating. Okay. And there it goes. Now, someone, I won't mention names, suggested I use a mix for the cake part, but I didn't want to do that. It seemed like it just didn't seem right for this. Okay. Oh. Now let's... I'm thinking maybe I should have... already thinking I did something wrong here. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do something different. Instead of spreading it over 2 cake pans, I'm going to put this all in one, and then when it's done I am going to slice it in half through the middle so I can go on with the next step after that, because it just doesn't seem... This is an optional way that it said that it can be done. Okay. Sort of reminds me of making my mother's chocolate chip cookie recipe, which I have since named Wesley Toll House Cookies. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the oven now, where it will cook for approximately 20 minutes, but I will be checking after about 15, because sometimes things cook faster than the recipe tells you. So, into the oven. One of the things I wanted to do while I'm waiting was, excuse me, and I know it's not safe or healthy, but I wanted to lick a spoon. It tastes pretty good. But like I said, you know, there's raw egg in there, and that's usually something people tell you can cause food poisoning. But if anything, if I get sick, it's my own fault. Okay, I had to cook it an extra 5 minutes. As you can see, the knife comes up clean, which means it's cooked. Looks like a giant cookie. I'm almost afraid. I thought it might be burnt on the back because you can. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little bit brown around the edge, and I was afraid that it might be burnt on the bottom, but it wasn't. So now our next step is to let this cool, and that could take some time. So while we're waiting for it to cool, we're going to get started with the buttercream icing, which goes on the inside. Now you're probably wondering why the name of the episode is Wesley Foreman and the first attempt at the Queen Victoria sandwich, because that was not my intention. I just found out, and I'm going to keep on going, power through. I used the wrong flour. I was supposed to use the self-rising flour, and I accidentally used the all-purpose flour. All-purpose flour doesn't contain all of the ingredients, the extra things that are found in the self-rising flour, like the salt, the baking soda, the baking powder, everything else that's in the self-rising, which is not in the all-purpose. So I made a major boo-boo on this recipe. I'm not going to quit though. I'm going to keep on going and see how it tastes with all-purpose flour. So back to the buttercream filling. See, that is my sponge cake. See how thin that is? I'm still going to make the buttercream frosting and the and go on, but I'm not going to be slicing it down the middle because it's got no middle to slice. But we're going to try something different instead. We're going to try to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. So here we have another 150 grams of unsalted softened butter, and 220 grams of powdered sugar. You mix that together. Almost. Okay. Oh. Takes a while before you get all of the butter and powdered sugar incorporated into each other. You want to make sure it's nice and smooth and not lumpy, just as much as you want to make sure you're still in camera range. Okay, now before we forget, because I have a tendency to do that, not intentionally, but it happens. Oop, I maybe put a little bit too much vanilla on the spoon there, but that's okay. Because if nothing else, I made delicious, delicious buttercream frosting, if nothing else. So, let's go on with the first attempt at a Victoria sandwich. And I suppose I could call it an open-face Victoria sandwich. That's not so bad that way. Okay, you want to make sure that this is cold, completely cold, and it's still a little warm. So we're not going to go forward just yet, but I'm going to put the frosting in the refrigerator and come back in about 30 minutes. This should be cool by then. And we'll go on with our open-face Victoria sandwich. Okay, now I'm going to take 100 grams, more or less, of raspberry jam and spread that over the top of our open face Victoria sandwich. I'm just going to go with it at that new name for this one. Okay. Now, if nothing else, I learned how to make a good buttercream frosting. Looks more or less acceptable. And there you have it, an open face Victoria sandwich. But don't worry, I do intend to try again next week, sometime this coming week, to do it again correctly with the correct flour. So let's see how it tastes with the all-purpose rather than the self-rising flour. And now, it tastes pretty good, although that could be the combination of the jam and the buttercream icing. But I will definitely try to make this again sometime this coming week with the actual self-rising flour. Until then, though, never let little setbacks hold you from moving forward. To see them as a challenge, something to overcome, something you're going to do differently and do better the next time. Until then, always remember, eat and enjoy.